I, 33 male, have always been the forgotten child compared to my younger sister Sarah, 29 female. Growing up, Sarah was the straight A student, the star musician, and the gifted one. Meanwhile, I was just average. I did fine in school, got a decent job and built a stable life, but it never seemed to matter because I was just average. My parents have always put Sarah on a pedestal, and I've spent years swallowing my resentment. We have a regular family dinner every Sunday at my parents' house. It's been a tradition for years, and while I sometimes dread it, I go because, well, it's family. This past Sunday, things finally boiled over. The evening started like it always does, with Mom and Dad praising Sarah. She recently got a promotion at work. The whole dinner was spent talking about how amazing she is, how proud they are, and how she's always been so hardworking. I sat there listening while no one asked about my job, life, or anything I had going on. Then, after dinner, my mom pulled out an envelope and handed it to Sarah. I didn't think much of it until Sarah opened it and gasped. It was a check for $15,000. My parents said it was to help her out with buying a house since the market is tough right now. I just sat there in shock. I bought my first home 3 years ago. I drained my savings, worked my behind off, and did it entirely on my own. I never got a dime from my parents, not even an offer. So I asked, "Did you ever think to help me when I was buying a house?" The room got quiet. My mom looked uncomfortable before saying, "Well, Sarah's had more challenges." I felt my face go hot. I asked, "What challenges? She makes more than I do." My dad sighed and said, "Come on, don't be like that, it's just a little help." That's when I lost it. I told them I was sick of being treated like an afterthought, that it's always been Sarah, 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 while I get nothing, that it was clear who their favourite was, and I was done pretending it didn't bother me. My mom started crying. My dad told me I was being dramatic. And Sarah? She just sat there looking guilty but said nothing. I left. Since then, my parents have been texting me about how I ruined the family dinner and how I could have handled it privately instead of making a scene. Sarah texted saying she understood why I was upset, but I didn't need to embarrass Mom. Now I'm wondering if I was the idiot for finally calling them out, even if it made things messy. If your mom can give your sister $15,000 right in front of you, why do you need to discuss it in private? Oh, boo freaking who, they are being jerks and you called them out on it. Not the idiot. You didn't ruin dinner. They did by serving up a big plate of favoritism. Calling it out wasn't making a scene, it was just stating the obvious. Should have thrown in a mic drop for effect. Agreed. How much more private could you be? Only the people involved were there. The fact that your mom immediately started crying instead of addressing the blatant favoritism proves your point. Sarah understands completely what the situation has probably been like for years. Still, she also doesn't want things to change, so it'd be best for her if you could just continue being the silent sibling. Sarah is understanding, Did she offer you a chunk of that check? Tell them that you may have ruined their dinner, but they ruined your childhood playing favourites and have continued to play favourites into adulthood. They're terrible parents. Makes me wonder how much more they've helped her out. Good luck. Maybe it sounds empty, but you're the strong one and deserve praise and love. I'm sorry. I, 23 male, started ice skating about 8 years ago after watching Yuri on Ice because that's just the type of autist I am. I see something and then I want to do it and become that character for a while, but ice skating and figure skating are pretty fun, even casually. I've been doing it for 8 years and I'm pretty proud of sticking to an active hobby. Anyway, this all started a year ago when my very new girlfriend, 22 female, watched Yuri on Ice and wanted to go to lessons. I hadn't told her I was into it yet because I was afraid having such a girly sport as a hobby might make her think I was gay or something. As I said, we'd been dating for only a few weeks. Knowing what I know now, I would never have bothered with this charade. But yeah, we ended up going to the ice rink. I requested that people pretend they don't know me since I'm a regular there, and I began to relearn ice skating. All was good, we were having fun, I was amazing at ice skating and we loved each other. I feel like this has legitimately bonded us because now we diet together, we exercise together, we practice together. This isn't a sport, we're never going to compete in a tournament, but we compete against one another. Sometimes she learns something before me and vice versa. Now the cat's out the bag. My brother offhandedly mentioned it and I guess he never got the memo or forgot because when I said we were coming up on our 1 year, he said, "Haven't you been doing it since high school?" My girlfriend is angry at me. She said I betrayed her trust and have been feeding her a lie that the past year has felt like a lie. She said she knew it was fishy. She had doubts that I was really as fast a learner as I was, but that nobody would fall on their behind that much. I'm just being crazy. She said I was crazy and that the staff were crazy for never mentioning it. I made the mistake of telling her I asked them not to, and she got even angrier. She hasn't answered my texts in the last week, and I don't know what to do. Lying is bad, and I can see how this can cause a serious ripple when it comes to trust. Her biggest hobby, and I've been lying about my skill level, but that doesn't change everything else. The emotions we felt don't change, the passion doesn't change, and ice skating is still the only thing I lied about. I struggled at the gym, and I did struggle with the diet for a while. I chose to let her decide our new diet since she cooks a lot. Maybe this is also a problem with the autism, but is a lie to spend more time and share something really that bad of a thing? Did I waste a year of this relationship by pretending to be an amateur ice skater? Am I the idiot? Let me rephrase your post and see if you agree. I lied to my girlfriend in an ongoing and elaborate way, bringing multiple other people in on the lie because I was insecure about my masculinity. Am I the idiot? Yep, you are. This is the best summary, but OP doesn't want to hear it. Every interaction was a lie, every shared win. The girlfriend also learned that he could elaborately keep an ongoing lie going during interactions and loop other people in. Everyone was lying to her. Honestly, she must be having a real Truman Show moment. I feel like not only would I never trust OP again, it might be hard to trust anyone for a little while. Agreed, this wasn't just a lie, it was a purposeful and well-crafted, complicated deception that even involved other people playing along with your scheme. Don't try to blame your choice to lie on being autistic. Plenty of autistics are able to understand that it's not okay to tell someone something that simply isn't true. In fact, I think more of us are likely to just say the truth even when it's uncomfortable or makes someone not like us, instead of making up stuff to get someone to spend time with us. And the "they think I'm gay" thing is just ridiculous. I definitely wouldn't trust you after this. I, 32 female, have kind of reached my breaking point with my in-laws, and now apparently I'm the bad guy for it. My wife, 34, and I have been helping her parents out financially for years. We've covered medical bills, helped with their mortgage, and stepped in whenever there was some emergency they couldn't handle. We never really thought twice about it because, well, they're family, and my wife felt like it was our responsibility. But then I started noticing a pattern. Every time we gave them money, suddenly they had cash to go out to fancy restaurants, buy expensive designer clothes, or splurge on stuff they absolutely did not need. At first, I tried to brush it off because maybe they just needed a little joy in their lives or whatever, but it kept happening. And the thing is, it was always right after we helped them. The final straw was last month. My mother-in-law called my wife crying about overdue medical bills and how they were struggling. We sent them a good chunk of money because, obviously, that's important. A few days later, I saw my mother-in-law posting on Facebook about how they were having a much-needed getaway at some luxury resort. I showed my wife and she immediately started making excuses for them. Maybe it was a gift, maybe they used a different credit card, or maybe we were overthinking it. But the more I investigated it, the clearer it became. There were no overdue medical bills. They straight up lied to us so they could go on a fancy vacation. That was it for me. I told my wife we were done funding their lifestyle. If they can afford designer clothes, they can afford their own damn house. My wife was hesitant at first. She's always felt responsible for them, but even she had to admit this was messed up. So we told them we weren't giving them any more money, and all heck broke loose. My mother-in-law called us ungrateful and sobbed about how we were abandoning them. My father-in-law said I was manipulating my wife, and then they dragged other relatives into it who are now guilt-tripping us, saying things like, "But they're family, and you have the money, why wouldn't you help?" Now my wife is second-guessing everything and I feel like the villain. But I can't keep lighting money on fire for people who refuse to act like responsible adults. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, it was a gift. It was from you under the lies of medical bills. Why on earth would either of you feel bad? They had no problem lying to both you and their own child and taking advantage of your generosity. They mistook your kindness for weakness. The other family members that agree with these thieves, because that's what they are, can give them however much money they want. You didn't manipulate their daughter, you helped her see the truth. Her parents are lying, stealing, and manipulating losers. Make a timeline of all the money you've given them. Include dates. Next, put what they did with the money. Put everything on it. Print it out and hang it on your refrigerator for your wife to see. When relatives feel it's appropriate to discuss finances with you because your in-laws shared private information with them, send them the document. The bank is closed. Time for all of them to suck it up. And post the timeline on Facebook for the entire family to see. OP, your wife is the problem, quite frankly. She's an enabler. She seems like she's okay with being taken advantage of, but not that you stand up for yourself and setting boundaries. I see this more as a marriage issue. So this happened over the past weekend. We were at a party with friends and this question popped up. We essentially had a small never have I ever game, which is pretty childish looking back, but we're all in our late 20s, so it isn't that bad. One of the questions was, never have I ever forgiven a partner for cheating. A few people counted that as something they did, including my wife. I expressed my surprise about it since I wouldn't expect her, of all people, to give someone a chance after cheating. Other than that, the night went on just fine and I was driving us home. I don't drink, I hate alcohol. I asked her about the whole situation of forgiving a partner for cheating. In her words, her ex-boyfriend of so many years back cheated on her. He came clean about it and they tried again, but then he went and did it again in the same manner. She said she didn't regret giving him a second chance and would do the same if I happened to cheat. I figure this is just her being intoxicated. I have no intention of cheating on her. In the absence of any answer from me, she asks if I do the same for her. I bluntly told her that I wouldn't be able to forgive cheating, nor would I ever expect to be forgiven for cheating if I somehow ended up doing it. Short of physical abuse or other heinous acts, it's the worst thing you can do to someone you love. I don't know what happened to her after that, but she stopped talking the rest of the car ride. Ever since then, she's been dead silent around me. She isn't her usual bubbly self and is withdrawn when I have conversations with her. She avoids any questions about what happened on Saturday night, too. I asked our mutual friends about any context I may have missed, and a few said she must have taken it a bit too hard. As in me, not being able to forgive her for hypothetical cheating means I don't love her as much as she loves me. Her two oldest friends kind of implied that I shouldn't have been so blunt about it. Not the idiot. This is stupid. On her part. Did she cheat, and is she sad that you wouldn't be willing to forgive her? Does she have the urge to or plan on doing it and hopes you give her another chance? Either way, it doesn't look good. Just because she can forgive a cheater doesn't mean you can or should. Like, excuse me? She's upset because what? She wants a free pass to cheat? She expects him to take her back if she ever does? The fact that she's this shaken up over a hypothetical situation is sketchy as heck. Most people in a loving, loyal marriage wouldn't even blink at a statement like that. I don't know why this is even a debate. And don't even get me started on her friend saying you shouldn't have been so blunt. Oh, I'm sorry, would it have been better if he lied? If he said, yes, honey, cheat all you want, I'll be your doormat forever? Heck no. If she's this bothered, she needs to sit down and explain why, because right now, this whole thing smells off. My sister Lauren is pregnant with a boy who she plans to name David. Long story short, David's father Brian is a loser and my sister is not going to be getting any help from him. Lauren has been talking a lot about how a boy needs a father figure, David's going to look for mentorship in the wrong places unless family steps up, and some more obvious statements that show she expects me to be the fun uncle type with David. I don't want any confusion in the future, so I told Lauren up front how I'm not going to be the fun uncle type or have any parental role with David. I'll be polite at any family event and send a gift for his birthday and Christmas, but that's it. It's not personal, I've just never liked kids. I find them annoying, and I don't want to ever be responsible for one. Brian's brother Andrew wants to be involved. He has 2 young kids with whom he wants David to grow up and have a strong relationship with his cousins. Our own brother George also wants to be involved. So I told Lauren how David has plenty of adult male figures without me. Lauren launched into me saying that an uncle still isn't the same as an actual father and that David needs all the support he can get since Brian won't be here. She accused me of flaking out on my own blood. I have my own life and wasn't going to be involved, regardless of the situation with Brian. I've always been upfront that I wasn't going beyond holiday gifts and other basic politeness. Besides, Andrew and George will be involved uncles, so I don't get why this pressure is on me. Lauren argued that hosting him for a sleepover or visiting a museum isn't asking the world. Realistically, one polite but distant uncle won't have any negative impact on a kid, and I can't be flaking out of a commitment that I never agreed to take in the first place. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. It's not nice of her to foist this responsibility on you knowing how you feel about it. Even if you love kids, it would be wrong of her to expect your involvement as she dictates. And she should go after the actual father to step up. Holy crap, it should start there. Why is she having a child with this man? Don't waste your time with a deadbeat. If he doesn't want a parent, don't push him to do it. That's just harmful to the child. The insane part is insisting that OP should have to because of blood while discounting the fact that baby daddy's brother, OP's mirror image equivalent in relatedness, is almost chomping at the bit to step in as the exact kind of person sister is looking for. I suspect she wants as much free childcare as possible, or OP has more financial resources. Fun uncle is the guy who takes you to Disney and buys you a car when you're 16. Why did Lauren procreate with such a loser? Why does she think she is entitled to your time and resources? Lauren should have thought harder about the importance of father figures when she was choosing David's actual father. The fact that Brian is a loser doesn't make it your problem. It makes it her problem.